For those of you that are new and are beginners, we are going to do a little breakout session at the end where you can ask questions and learn about our 3 different programs that we have. So this is George's Keeping Bees Alive, where
No, it's Donna's.
well, it is technically George's that they put my name over. And in looking at that, he usually talks about 40 minutes, but we're just going to highlight one thing because nobody's coming in recognize if their queen is alive right now. And if you are and you find her, she will then be dead. So food. When I heard that George wasn't going to be here only a week ago, I saw, you know what, let me take this one step further. And I reached out and I emailed Frank Mortimer, who did our speech at our conference last year. And I reached out and contacted Robin Underwood, who did not do anything at our conference, but we in the Women's Bee Group have done a lot of things with Robin. She works at Penn State and does a lot with Casey and Julia Mahood. And some of this is not their stuff yet, right?
No,
this is George's.
This is George's.
And you're going to see a lot of similarities between what the 3 people are saying. And the first thing everybody emphasized was make sure you've got food. And that food's going to be in the form of just throw Mountain Camp, which is just throwing sugar at the top of your hive. You can add fondant, you can add sugar bricks, which I've brought an example of. But one thing that is going to be emphasized is do not put pollen in your hives yet. Keep your insulation on. Don't open the hives unless necessary. Of course, this can be confusing for new people. Obviously, you have to open the hive to put the feed in the top. But when they're saying don't open the hive, they're talking about breaking the boxes apart or pulling out frames. Remove dead bees from the bottom board with a wire hanger. Move hives to a new location. I've already done that in my apiary. Plan on where to get bees and equipment. So Tom McKinney is here. Tom is like right up the road from me. There's Tom. And Tom has some of these papers in the back. Tom is selling nukes and bees. So he's one of the beekeepers in our club that you can reach out to. That would be a good person to contact.
And who else is selling?
Like a lot. We want to get a list up on the website.
And if you're selling bees.
If you're selling bees, raise your hand. See,
Yeah, if you're
Carol,
selling
Howard.
On our website, we have a buy sell. I would like to get a list up there on the website so people can just go to one spot instead of waiting for people to post that they're selling bees, because it seems kind of unnecessary to go through all that. But there is also, if you want to know now, go to the buy sell and ask for bees. Hopefully.
Why would you move your hive now?
Because the bees aren't really coming out and foraging right now. So when in the summertime, if you move the hive, they go out to forage. When they come back, they're like, "Where's my house?" So if you move them now, they're only going out for like what we call a That's only what's that? If you want to move their hives, now's the time to do it. Yeah. All right. So this was Frank's input. Most colonies die in February and March. So make sure your bees have food. If at the top, feed sugar. What does if at the top mean? Because I was like, well, I think I know what he means by that, but I'm not sure. Does anybody want to?
If you see clusters, oh, sorry.
If you see clusters up in
You asked the question open one.
So when he said if at the top, and I'm like, my mind went, if the feed is at the top, who feeds from the bottom? How would you feed at the bottom? I'm like, Frank, I just want to make sure we're talking about if the bees are at the top. And he's like, yeah, the bees are at the top. He's like, they're looking for food. So feed them. Start thinking about Varroa. Now, I asked him a question about Apivar. If those of you who've been beekeeping are familiar with this stuff, this is a synthetic pesticide. This is not considered organic management. So when I asked him about that, he said, yep, it is synthetic. He says, but it is one of the most effective ones. He goes, and it will kill everything. A lot of us in this club are more in lines with organic management and do other things. So you guys have got to decide what your practice is going to be. And if you need help, reach out to somebody.
The other discussion we had about that is if you put on Apivar now, you've got 56 days plus 14 days before you can put the supers on. Well, that's too late.
Far in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too far in the future. One, and two, for those of us who use a technique called demery, where you're pulling frames out of the bottom of the hive that have been apivarred, and you're moving them up, well, you can't take any honey because you're constantly rotating frames that have been treated with Apivar, which you should not consume Apivar treated honey. That's bad.
But if you do accidentally, I might have done that, you can keep that honey and feed it back to your bees.
This explains a lot.
You know what?
Valid point.
All right, so moving on, repair or rebuild equipment, that's really good advice. Order bees, if you need bees, wash your protective gear. I laughed when I read that, because I was like, man, am I like weird? I wash my gear all year long. Like if I go out to my hive and my bees are, why? I don't know. I wash my hockey gear. Hockey people don't wash their gear, I do. See?
You can wash your beekeeping suit. I didn't know that. Oh.
I have heard that if you go out and your bees are aggressive, they leave pheromones and scent on there that it will then make them aggressive. So I have aggressive bees, so yes, I wash my suit often.
Might that be why they're aggressive?
So what is the best way
Is this
to wash
dumb?
a ventilated suit? Like that
You just unzip the hood and throw
take the hood
everything
up
in.
and just kind of
Yeah.
chemical
I
cycle?
didn't even put the hood in and it's fine, honestly. I mean, hold on. Do you have a top loader with an agitator or do you have a front loader that just kind of tumbles?
No,
top.
no middle agitator.
No middle agitator. You should be fine, I would think.
I hang mine to dry. I don't put it in the dryer.
Yeah, I don't dry any of my clothes. I hang everything to dry.
And the other thing to think about is if you've got like a big tub, fill it with warm water, put the suit in it, get some soap in there, and you could just hand wash it too.
None of us are bending down on our knees washing our clothes at the top.
I am.
Be careful if your suit's covered in propolis, for sticking it in your wash.
That's
what I would.
Yeah.
That would clog things up.
That's a good point. So maybe cold water, not hot. So that was Frank's input. This was Robin's input. Make sure you have enough food. So you can see, yeah.
Could you just hose it off outside and like hang it?
I mean, you can do anything you want. I don't feel like it gets clean enough for me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it would still be,
Hosing
it
it-
smells. It
Hosing
wouldn't
it,
do
you
it?
need soap.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's gonna need
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
So you can see everybody's really emphasizing that you need food, and Robin did emphasize no pollen patties yet. I was curious, I didn't ask her a question about this. She said, open the cover and look for capped honey without pulling frames. If the cells are open or empty, they need to be fed. My feeling is I just put food up top and let them decide what they want. They've got sugar bricks, they've got fondant. I like to give them a little smorgasbord and let them decide what they want. I'm not looking for capped honey. You could treat with OA vapor. And this is what I asked George. I did a treatment and I'm thinking if your bees are starting to lay eggs right now, more than likely in the beginning of February, it's not capped brood yet, right? I'm gonna ask Carol. It's not capped brood yet.
Could be.
It could be.
We've seen it in January.
So I don't know if those of you who are familiar with OA vapor, if it's capped, it's not gonna reach inside the cell. So that's why they're saying to do it over winter or very early, because it will get in and kill them in your hive, but not if they're capped. You've got to do a couple of treatments and wait until they emerge.
I think
Gina?
it was cold enough that it didn't.
I was just reading the first point and she says winter patty's not pollen. What's a winter patty?
Sugar.
So I guess the pollen, she said, well, sugar brick or winter
Winter
patty?
patties are,
Not pollen patties.
are
So
sugar cakes.
Okay, well, I know what a sugar, yeah.
some other people might not, so this is basically a winter patty. It's just sugar. Sugar, water, dried to make candy, and then you can use like healthy bee, honeybee healthy, different stuff to kind of add some nourishment in there. Soy flour.
Flowers.
I am now shaking in my boots because I checked on my bees on Wednesday and the first hive looked like it was dead and I cracked a frame and pulled it up and they were down in the next box. And then I put it back together. Have I already damaged them?
No.
I don't think so, not if it was real quick. What day did you do it?
Wednesday?
Is that the warm day?
No wind and,
Yes, you're fine.
but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're okay.
You might have some slow V's off of that, Frank. Not kidding. Cold weather, cold on brood causes those bees will be slow. They will not communicate as well. They won't dance as well. But there are so many other bees that are coming out that will be fine. That's just a blip.
And then Robin said something about a QR code to follow her. I haven't checked this out yet, so I don't know what this is all about, but she's got a QR code.
Yeah, so they have an apiary up at Burnville that they check. They pull, looking for taproot every 2 weeks. But I think they're doing it in an environment, but it's like in a greenhouse. They close up for the inspection and they open it back up.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then here's what she's talking about. And that was from the 16th of January. You can see the X's, no brood.
So I'm assuming that only that one's hers.
Yeah.
I don't know who both the others belong to, but she's gonna be the one in Pennsylvania.
It's with Auburn University.
What's that?
It goes to Auburn University.
Yeah.
Okay.
The oxalic acid, does that include the strips that you put in there for the 37 to 55? I know you guys do the spray in the hive.
With
But there's
spray,
also
what's the spray? Baby.
He's talking about.
You mean a dribble?
You do the dribble once in December, January. I guess if you haven't done it, you could do it.
Well, I did in the fall the I forget what it's called, the formic acid
Okay.
strips. Do we do that in the winter as well? Just in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, the formic strips, you're gonna have to get into the hives and all. So the other stuff that we're doing is stuff that we're not having to break open the hive. I mean, I don't even do the dribble because I don't want to put cold liquid on them I did it one time and I really felt bad about it. So I got enough.
Exactly. Yeah, I do the same thing. I warm it up, and then it could be 30 degrees out. Pop the top cover off. Squirt, 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 squirt.
Done.
Done.
But they're wet. I'm a backpacker. You don't go into the woods and get wet. You
Yeah,
don't
but
wear
wet
cotton.
with
They stay
sugar.
dry. So I don't know.
Sugar
So I
water,
do oxalic vapor
Okay.
just
Yeah.
because.
And I got confused. It's not oxalic acid, it's formic acid.
Oh, okay.